to the Bully Girl podcast. It's the one and only Dr. Taylor here, bringing some of the hottest topic discussions and kennels in the bully community straight to your ears. This is episode 14 of the BGM podcast, and I have a very special guest today by the name of Brian Devening. He is the owner of the amazing Snubbies supplement, and he's straight out of Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome to the BGM podcast, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Taylor.
Yeah, no problem. We wanted to bring you on here to just talk about Snubbies and how amazing Snubbies actually is for snub-nosed dogs. I am completely obsessed with the supplements. We use it here for our dogs and our kennels. We have a lot of people that tune into, the BGM podcast and Bully Girl magazine that also use the brand as well. So we brought you here. We want to tell you about the story. We want to tell the audience about the story. And just let you share with us how everything pretty much happened on your end. So can you tell us the story behind the founding of Snubbies and what inspired you to create the company specifically for the snub-nosed breeds?
Yeah, definitely. So I go back in 2021. I had been working for a private investment firm in private equity and was an operating partner for a couple of e-commerce companies. And one of them was a pet product company, and which I was heavily involved in the operations with and managing for 5 or 6 years. And one of the things I really liked about that was, working just the content, the dog content, and it was an uplifting. It's always very positive, and I really like that. And I also when I decided that I wanted to go back out and be an entrepreneur again, I had done it before, about 20 years ago, and really wanted to get back on that side. I remember we talked about this. I remember thinking, I was at my house, I really want to do something I'm passionate about, can get that's positive and is positive in people's life. And I was thinking about that, and there were my two English bulldogs snoring away on my bed, and I've had English bulldogs for 30 years and been through a lot with them, and they've been through a lot with me. And I started doing some research because these English bulldogs in particular can have a lot of different chronic issues that are nagging, and so over the years I wanted to, I started giving more natural products and really more preventative care versus have been in the position of having some eye problems that may get to the point where they want to do surgery that may or may not work. It's expensive, and that started leading me to the whole group of snub-nosed dogs, which have a lot of the same. They're specially bred, and a lot of the flat face, broad skull, and a lot of the same, eye issues, skin issues, hip and joint, and they just have it in a much more chronic way, a much more higher frequency. And there were two studies that we found. One was by Nationwide Insurance, as I started looking into this in depth, and the other one was by, I think, Vet Compass from Banfield Hospitals. And across the board, snub-nosed breeds have a significantly higher frequency of these problems throughout their life, and not just by a few points, but double, triple digit type, higher frequency. And so I felt that this was a good idea to do some research and really see if we could understand what we could provide specifically, because all dogs have these problems, but in like my bulldogs will have a higher frequency, and you're always trying to get the eye stuff out. You're always trying to they have hot spots and different things, and see if we could come up with something that was specifically geared towards the chronic type of issues that a lot of these dogs had. And so we commissioned a study. I partnered with a guy named Chris Glazer, who's not here tonight, but who's my co-founder, who had worked in animal health and had a company in data analytics for animal health for a long time. And we we did a research study with about 300 dog owners of snub-nosed breeds, and asked them, what they were asked them what they're looking for in products, what ingredients, what was important to them, what are their buying habits, what needs are unmet, all of the different experiences they've had to try to really get a focus on what we wanted to provide and what they could use, and also what I would give to my dogs as well. And so we put a good team in place to, we spent almost a year from the research study into putting the products together in 2022. And one of the things that really came up from the research study that we did was, they wanted general health immunity type ingredients that were, had some real clinical backing behind them, and that means probiotics. And so we went into a specific company that had uh, their own strains of probiotics, because probiotics can be tricky in terms of making sure that you got a shelf stable product and you've got something that's a strain that has research behind it. And so we went to Carry Nutrition, and we combined BC30, which is a probiotic. It's Bacillus coagulans, and then Wellmune, which is their own proprietary strain of baker's yeast. And they have a lot of great studies behind it, so that we could have a dedicated supply of an immunity blend that we wanted to put in all of the products. So when you're talking about general gut health, you know, people have been taking these for a long time, but it's just starting to get more and more into the pet and the dog arena, and I think it's important for the general immunity and health. And then we added specific, really strong ingredients with the proper dosages for specific indications across the board. That we have the first line of 5 products, and that's and we
Okay.
so we launched the products online in about April of this year, and we're um, going forward with some good partnerships and building up the brand and getting good awareness.
That's amazing. I like the fact that y'all took all the time and research, all the research that y'all completed in order to make these supplements. Because yeah, you're absolutely right. The snub-nosed dogs, such as like English bulldogs, French bulldogs, American bullies, things like that, we do see a trend in a lot of like health conditions and stuff. And a lot of them do come from just having bad gut health and stuff. So I love all the different types of supplements that y'all just took the time out to create, just to cater to the specific dog and their need itself. So that to me is just absolutely amazing. Um, so what do you think sets Snubbies apart from other pet supplement companies in terms of the quality of the ingredients that you use?
Well, like I said, we wanted to create formulations that, had, the real key things that we wanted to target, and that we weren't putting anything in there that didn't need to be in there. But when the stuff that we're putting in there was the best quality, and that, definitely in terms of the probiotic blend that we did and the other ingredients, manufacturing it in a very, very nice FDA registered facility with, different levels of testing, and going through, some regulatory with in an audit with the National Animal Supplement Council, and really making sure that. And also a big part of it was, creating it was using finding out what flavor we were going to do. It needed to be a natural flavor, but we want it to be, the dogs, even though, a lot of natural ingredients can be pungent and maybe have a weird taste, but we wanted an ingredient that would make them feel like they were having a treat.
Yeah. Yeah. So does Snubbies have like different flavors, or do you have like one set flavor for dogs?
So yeah, we have just the beef flavor right now, and may come out with another flavor as we come out with other products. The beef flavor in our research was the most, the highest preferred flavor, and then chicken, and then there's turkey and salmon, and so we really wanted to encompass the largest amount at the beginning, and expand from there.
Yeah, that's smart because I know that trying to give dogs like supplements and vitamins and everything else, they just, no matter how you try to give it to them or hide it, they know that this something is in there that
Yeah.
doesn't taste well to them. And so they
No, a
just spit
dog,
it
if it
out.
didn't like something and you try to, hide it in their food, they'll eat all around it, and eat everything but the thing they don't like. They are good at that. So, we spent time on that. We also spent time on trying to figure, wanted a consistency of the chew, because snub-nosed breeds have, the 42 teeth. They've got a lot of teeth. I've had dogs that have lost the little teeth from hard things. I didn't want a real hard crumbly chew. I wanted one that was a little bit softer, not too soft, but a little bit softer. You can break if you need to break it apart. You can
Yeah.
break it apart and put it over the food. Um, so and I was happy with the way this came out, and yeah, we did put a lot of time into it, and I wanted it to be something. Obviously, I give them to my dogs, and I wanted it to be something that we felt proud of. That and we also want to try to improve on things. And the best way to do that is to get real customer feedback and understand what they want.
So let's talk about the different types of supplements that you offer. So what
Right.
I know that you have supplements for eye health, immune support, um, hips and joints. Let's go into the different types of supplements that Snubbies is offering.
So all the products have the immune support blend that I told you about that has Wellmune and BC30 in it, the probiotics. They all have wild Alaskan fish oil, and they all have some antioxidants, some vitamin E, and some vitamin C. And then we have in each product we have an eye health and immune support. So we add some ingredients, particularly for eye health. Lutein is in there, which is for ocular support and helps the function of eyes so they don't degenerate so fast. We have a skin product, which is for the skin and coat, which has additional levels of omega 3 and antioxidants, along with immune support. That a lot of times the response that we get is that after a couple of weeks on like the skin product, they can see the coat becomes more hydrated, and it comes laid down a little bit better. I've noticed that in my dogs. We have a hip and joint, which has the addition of glucosamine, MSM, and chondroitin, which is a good combination in addition to the immunity blend to really help. And so we've had initial good reviews on that. We have a cognitive product, which is for dogs that maybe need more alertness or they might be a little bit older. That has a lot of CoQ10 in it and some other neural ingredients that can really help the alertness and the flow, the cardiac flow. And then we also have what I say, skin and health, hip and joint, eye health, cognitive, and we have a calming product that has melatonin, ginger root, chamomile, and that product we get a lot of good reviews really quickly because the melatonin seems to help pretty quickly, and so as it's one of the quicker acting products and helps for anxiety or thunderstorms or when the dog's riding in the car, and it's easy to give them, and those are the five initial ones, and there's a few that we want to add on to that in the future.
Okay, that's awesome. So the ones that's for the calming, typically how long does it take for the calming mechanism to actually kick in to start helping the dog?
We've had customers that say, it takes, it works the same day or in a few days, some a few weeks. But generally, it's the products are dosed based on the size of the dog. A soft chew pretty much for every 25 pounds. And so you should see the results or the effects relatively quickly with that particular product.
That's awesome. I know a lot of breeders that have dogs with high anxiety, or they help some of the dogs that go to shows for like their first time, and then they give them some calming supplements just so
Yeah,
they
that would
can
make me
become
nervous.
acclimated. Yeah, they're fun. I can't wait for you to get out there and go to one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. But yeah, so they'll give their dogs, especially like the newer ones, the ones that may be a little bit older and new to the show world, when they want them to become like acclimated to like the sounds and the different smells and things like that, they will give them some calming supplements. So I think Snubbies is something that a lot of breeders and show owners and handlers and everyone else needs to look into to see if that actually helps. So yeah, I think it's amazing. I honestly myself, I did not know that you had the calming one, so that's probably
Oh,
something
really?
that I'm actually going to add to my little pantry as well for my dogs. Yeah, especially around the holidays when they're like shooting fireworks and everything outside.
Yeah, 4th of July, right?
Absolutely. We have to turn on the TV for it. Just kind of sound to get every all the sounds out and everything. But that's awesome. So do you have any like stories or testimonials or anything like that that you had off the top of your head that you can share with us?
Yeah, so we've had some good testimonials. People that have even sent in, either photos or videos, um, uh, like the calming product, for older dogs. It's been interesting because there's been other breed owners, like a lot of German Shepherd owners have bought this and replied to it, and so we're seeing, good response. I've seen people that have some older dogs say after a few weeks, they can really see their dog moving around better after taking the hip and joint product. Definitely get a lot of comments on the coat,
Hmm.
the coat being more moisturized from a lot. That's a lot from the omega-3 and the fish oils. So we're getting across the board some good positive reviews from real users.
Good. Good. I love it. I love to see that different breeds are also tapping in and trying the supplements out because the ingredients that y'all put into this could help so many different dogs. And people just need to just give it a chance and then they'll just completely see a change within their dog, especially the hip and joint as well. And I agree on that one. Um, a lot of the American bullies, a lot of them may have like hip dysplasia and stuff. And I know that my older XL bully does. And so the snubbies that he uses and takes on a daily basis, you can tell that he has a lot, his movement's a lot better. He just seems so much happier than he has been and stuff. So I definitely would recommend it to everyone.
Thank you very much. Almost all dog breeds have the hip problems and the hip and joint.
Mhm.
Um, but the snub nose have a lot more of the breathing problems, and which can lead to
Mhm.
pneumonia or sickness and different things like that. And particularly with whether it's English bulldogs or bullies or Frenchies, um, it's important to have a preventative health regimen that you keep on as
Mhm.
they age, so that things don't get out of hand. And I've witnessed that myself, having bulldogs for 30 years and have wonderful vets. But I had a one of my female bulldogs had a sort of like an ingrown eyelash problem, which is not which is what they see quite often. And it would create the dry eye and all the the stuff in the eyes, and it was also hurting your vision. And during that time, they give them get antibiotic drops or steroids, which work for a period of time, but you can't give them long term. And so they
Right.
only really work while you're giving them. So it's important to find some things that can augment that, which you can give on a daily basis, which can help their general health, just like in human supplements.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so how do you engage with the Snubbies community? And do you have any events or initiatives to connect with any of your customers?
So, for our website, we're trying to build, content in the community where we've got newsletter and blogs. We're going to be creating, more and more engaging content, ebooks for the different breeds, and try to offer a resource of for the snub nose breeds for health products. We want to build out our product profile, but also engage with the community and get feedback to understand how we can actually, make some better products and really expand and try to connect that way. Going to be going out to shows, as you know, and having people, giving samples out and having people try the products and really try to get connected with the customer and listen to what they have to say about it too, because that's really going to be the the hallmark of if we can do this the right way is if we really understand what the dogs benefit from, because this is really all for the dogs. I mean, these dogs,
Yeah.
all of our dogs, we all know they bring in so much light and so much love. I'm trying to, I want to give something back to them because they don't have very long lives, and that's a tough thing to go through, as we all know. And it's so that's why I feel like I felt compelled to really get into this and do this, and got some good people working with me on that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Our dogs are our companions. They're our best friends. So I completely understand, and it also helps with kind of eliminating those vet bills as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's talk about challenges. How did you well, if you had any challenges and obstacles while you were building Snubbies and growing the company, how did you
Oh
overcome any of
yeah.
these obstacles?
So I've been involved in the startup of some companies before, and managed them. And so, I started this knowing that, we were in the middle of COVID and things were crazy. So there were some challenges in terms of like, supply chain and, I mean, people, were either some people were sick and out and not working. And so it was definitely a challenging year to get through it. But we just kept on saying, okay, we were on the right path. So there were definitely some issues with that, but it's which have calmed down a bit. But I think it's made dogs even more important in people's lives because there's a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of people are home for a long period of time. It wasn't easy, and dogs are great. My dogs probably know me better than I know myself, and they're great emotional connectors. They're always right on the money, and they're always genuine about. There's no hidden agenda with dogs. They might be sneaky or conniving, but they so I think really that's what really kept me going to do. Let's see if we can get this out there, and recent people feel the same way.
I know that during COVID, somehow I ended up with more dogs. So I understand being home and able to spend a lot of time with them and stuff. So during that time, I did notice that one of my dogs had some skin issues. And it was vet bill after vet bill after vet bill when
Yeah,
all it really was she just needed specific supplements in her body in order to help regulate her gut and have those good bacteria inside of her and everything like that too. So that's great. Um, so how do you ensure that Snubbies remains accessible to a wide range of snub-nosed dog owners, including those with different budgets?
yeah. So we wanted to create a quality product, not something that we could, and we wanted to create, buy the product, not try to create something at a particular price. So the for month supply is about, $38. And depending on the size of your dog, we really focused hard on, making sure that we have the quality on ingredient, and the formulations, taste, texture, all of the things that come into play in that. And so, it can be something that, I think that is a lot cheaper than vet visits if sometimes they don't really help, or they're treating the symptoms and things like that, to just create a preventative regimen that you think is working for your dog. And also, it's important to check with your vets too. Talk to them about the ingredients, the formulations. It's important to have a vet that I think is open to the natural product ingredient products, as well as the traditional allopathic prescription products across the board, and really try to figure out what is best for your dog. And I'm obviously a believer in having a preventative regimen, and I've seen it help. And all my dogs have lived a pretty good life in terms of dog years, but I'm just trying to take the best care of them that I can.
What kind of support and resources does Snubby provide to customers who may have questions or need guidance regarding their pet's health?
So you can reach us through support at snubbies.com. We have a chat on the website. We have other forms of support, but if there's questions or ingredients that are technical in nature, we have on our team a very experienced veterinarian who's been in the dog supplement industry for a long time with some major companies. If there's really starting to get into some technical questions you want to understand from a vet, we have a flow set up to be able to get to more scientific levels with, experienced vet. And um, we think that, we're also working with, some rescue organizations. We want to, really be, that really have a lot of understand a lot of the problems with a lot of the dogs that can help. So I think that'll be important for people to see.
Absolutely. Okay. What are your social media handles and what is the link to your website? Is it snubbies.com for people to go to?
So Facebook is yeah, there's website snubbies.com. Facebook is Snubbies. Instagram is Snubbies LLC, and YouTube is Snubbies LLC.
Sweet. Awesome. Okay. Thank you for that. Um, okay. So, how do you see the relationship between Snubbies and Bully Girl Magazine benefiting the snub nosed breed community and pet owners in general?
So we got involved with Billy Gold, towards the beginning of this year. And what I liked about the magazine was that, it's really full of, it's the enthusiasts. And that's who the people who are, whether they're, breeders or rescue organizations or show people, but really, understand the breeds as well as anybody in, their vocation. And, that's who we really wanted to try to, talk to about products and different things, and, really try to connect with enthusiasts, because that's what I am. I mean, you get a particular breed, and whatever however you get connected with them and you stay with that and you go with it your whole life, that's pretty much called an enthusiast. And so I think these types of breeds, you've seen the growth of like the French bulldog and English bulldog, and their personalities are so amazing that it really it's something that it really becomes a lifestyle. And so that's what we really wanted to try to have some products that were geared towards their health, but also we know the enthusiasts will understand.
Okay. Um, do you have any future goals or aspirations for Snubbies?
Well, we'd like to build out our supplement line, and go into some other categories. So we definitely have a product development plan, and we want to really have,
Mhm.
build the products as we go along with customer feedback. So I mean, we'd really like to become more and more involved in a lot of as we're going to go to shows and different things, and in the enthusiast community, and learn. I think we'll get a lot of ideas that we can add to future products. So really, that type of uh, relationships will be very helpful for the growth of the company.
Yeah. Okay. I know that we briefly mentioned you getting out to dog shows and things like that, and then you also having
Yeah.
some additional supplements that are coming out. But are there any specific trends or advancements in the pet supplement industry that you're excited about or keeping your eye on?
Well, I've seen a lot of the supplements or food. A lot of the advancements are really going towards fresh or raw sort of ingredients, and I really think that there's going to be a lot of in the advancement in the terms of gut health and probiotics that are really going to be important. There's over the last 30 years. I mean, a lot of the research in probiotics, is that the gut is the second brain, and that it controls a lot of things that we weren't really addressing, you know, 50, 100 years ago. And I think that's going to be true for dogs. So I think that, in terms of gut health and natural ingredients that could really make a difference, I think you'll see a lot of that.
Absolutely. Okay. So, lastly, what message would you like to send to the viewers of Bully Girl Magazine and the snub nosed dog community as a whole?
Well, I think it's love the snub. I mean, you spread the love. These dogs, life is not, as everybody knows, it's got its ups and downs, and dogs are right there, spreading the love. And I think that's a good message. Dogs are very, they're aspirational beings. There's a lot of sayings, try to be the person your dog thinks you are. And, the dogs, we can learn a lot from dogs. And, I just like to, spread a positive message with because that's how my dogs make me feel. That's how, when you see incredible dog content online, it can be really funny, it can be interesting, but it's always genuine when people,
Mhm.
really have their dogs there. And, that to me is, it makes me smile, makes me feel better, and that's, kind of a message of just a message of positivity.
Absolutely. I love it. Can you tell us about the exclusive offer for the Bully Girl magazine viewers to save on Snubbies products and how they can take advantage of it?
Yeah, you can use the discount code BG20 to get 20% off your order. So you type that in at checkout and um, off the first order, and that give you 20% off of anything you want to get. And we're going to be out to some
Okay.
shows with some products too, some free products and some
Which
samples and
I
stuff.
Yeah, which I am super excited about. I cannot wait. I will send you a full list of the shows that I'll be attending myself throughout the year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Mr. BGM, if he's going to be at any, he'll send you the same. We can meet up at shows, go ahead and get together as Bully Girl Magazine and Snubbies collaboration. It's just going to be super fun. You're going to love it. Trust me.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Anything like that is,
Absolutely.
that's like, for me, it'd be like taking the day off.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. Going to shows, you build community, you build a family. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I get mesmerized by the dogs at the shows too. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to thank you, Ryan, once again for joining the BGM podcast and sharing your knowledge this evening with us about how Snubby started, your personal experience, testimonials, everything that you shared with us today. I do want to say that as a reminder, I want our audience to check out the Bully Girl app and bgmwarehouse.com for the latest merchandise, interviews, show pictures, and more. I want to see you all at the next episode of the Bully Girl podcast.